up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another reaction video, you guys. Listen, before we hop into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It's free to subscribe, share and like the video, and turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new content, all right? Also, make sure you hype up the video, all right? So in this particular video, this video comes from the Daily Wrap-Up crew. Shout out to them. They're talking about how modern women ignore average men, and we're gonna get into why. I want to play what they had to say on this, and I definitely want to get your thoughts, so make sure you chime in the comments below. I want to hear what you got to say. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
Average looking men can't even get a simple hello and a smile from women.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know this. I know
I can't, like I said, I can't relate.
It is, well, there's a lot of men who approach women respectfully. Like this is even the whole conversation. Why don't men approach women no more? Because the average man who approached you respectfully and you thought he was beneath you because, you know, he pulled up on a city bike, or he wasn't in a Rolls Royce, or he wasn't 6 foot, or like women do the same actions. And y'all clearly are saying that y'all hate men. So now y'all
not me, not I.
Women.
Yeah, but a lot of women, they're like, we don't want the bottom of the barrel. We don't want the dusties. You want the top tier man, but you don't realize that you don't qualify for him because you don't know what he wants. You never thought about what he wants. It's all about what you want. And you think your needs outweigh his. And that's just not the truth. Because once again, who you want gotta want you. So if you don't have the qualities that this top tier man is looking for, then you don't get him. And that's what we're seeing happening. Let's continue.
Like y'all saying that if you're not even
why do you think they're not receiving a man approaching them?
Repeat the question.
Why do you think they're not receiving a man coming onto them and approaching them and trying to?
They don't find them attractive.
Because yeah, for sure.
But like you said,
harassment.
they can't even get a hello. So you're speaking. It sounds like you're speaking from like the perspective that like they're rejecting them in a cruel or rude way. Yeah. That's how I'm receiving what you're saying, right?
Not necessarily. Jude talks about that one instance where he gave woman, not him, but one of his friends gave a woman a compliment, said, "Hey, you look beautiful," and she, "Oh, I don't need you to compliment me, bum ass." Like,
but that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I'm saying.
Why
do you think that they're doing that?
Again, we go back to we're trying to come up with sympathy for women that we don't get from.
No, I'm asking what you think.
What do I think?
Yeah, because you're saying you're speaking as if you know.
Because they don't find them attractive or they don't fit inside a social status or hierarchy.
Yeah.
You think it's that surface level?
I think the number one reason is that she probably didn't find that man attractive. Because if she did, the response would have been different.
We talk about her sexual harassment.
Right.
It's only sexual harassment when a woman don't find him attractive.
Right. So because she didn't find him attractive, now he's in this other he's in the creep zone now, and now she can respond how she responds.
The reason why I'm inquiring, because the things that I've heard from women sound different. That women reject men in a little bit more of an aggressive way, or might be addressing them in a more aggressive way, is because how when they're kind, it's still not received. So sometimes you might have to be over the top and exaggerated to get somebody away from you. I don't personally do that because like I think, okay, if a man came up to me and he's a nice guy, I think that he can take a nice no. Right? I wouldn't want any of my brothers.
If a guy that seems like a nice guy that's approaching you, why is it an automatic no? Now, I understand that some men can't take rejection. Okay, sure. But why is it if a nice guy is approaching you, it's an automatic no? So that means you just don't want anybody to approach you. Because whether he's a nice guy, he's not being disrespectful, why is it a no? And I understand he might be nice, but you're just not attracted to him. And I get that. But what I'm saying is, I understand guys have approached women in a disrespectful manner, and you like, no, thank you, I'm not interested, and they can have an attitude or become belligerent or whatever. It exists, but you know what I'm saying? Why would you get an attitude or say no to a guy that's approaching you in a nice manner? Is it that you just don't want to be approached? And that goes back to their point that a lot of women will look at a guy, and if she's not automatically attracted to him based off of what she see, she just don't approach me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And some men can't handle that, I will say. But I don't think the majority of men are crashing out because you say no. But it goes back to the point, a lot of women don't want certain men approaching them based off of how they look. Let's be honest. Let's continue.
Others to be rejected disrespectfully at all. I wouldn't like that. That hurt my feelings that they're getting hurt.
So you're an attractive woman.
Thank you.
You get approached, right? And you say you never had to go to that length to reject a person that's trying to...
I have.
You have?
Yeah, because they'll touch me without my permission. I get people just, a lot of men will just touch me because, I don't know, they just think that they're allowed to touch me for whatever reason. And I'll have to be aggressive, like get away from, get off me. Yeah. Right? You don't need to touch me to talk to me. Okay. That's what I have to push out there.
Physical contact, I'm saying.
But I don't go out of my way to be rude. Right. But also I know that like, I might be attractive, but like I lay within I'm tall and I'm not small. So me being aggressive with a man might not get me the reaction to get them away from me. They might start swinging. I'm gonna have to swing back. You know what I'm saying? So like I might not outright be aggressive with a man because the consequences of me being aggressive looks a certain type of way. I find that women that might be a little bit smaller, a little bit more petite and things like that, it might be okay for them to be more aggressive to get a man away from them because people will look and be like, oh, look at him with this small lady. He's gonna remove himself. You would expect for him to leave because it looks wrong. For me, it might not look wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's a man and a woman.
Yeah, but I feel like...
Because you're told...
I feel like when a woman looks like she can handle her own and she's fighting back, I don't think as many people are going to go out their way to try to break it up. Personally, for me and from what I've seen and what I've experienced. Okay. Right? Now, from the women, conversations I've had with them, men don't also listen when you tell them no, when you're kind and tell them to leave you alone. So sometimes just to not end up in the situation, you might be aggressive. And it's unfortunate that men have to deal with that aggressive situation because of women's other experiences. But sometimes people have to think, is it better to be dramatic and aggressive and get out of the situation that could potentially be dangerous for me? Or do I be sweet and stay? And them not leave me alone. You can tell them.
Well, I think it's a way to handle it, and I think a lot of women speak in a way that they don't have any other alternatives. If you're out in public, right? If you're at a club, there's usually security at that club. There's usually other men around. If somebody is bothering you that you don't want to bother you, go tell somebody. You don't have to sit there and argue back and forth with this person. Get security. Get somebody who you can tell what's happening and keep it moving. If you don't know this person, you don't trust them, get security. Get somebody who can let this, make this person get away from you and get away from them. Why? I don't think that any woman who knows that she's in a vulnerable situation or could be in a vulnerable situation should go back and forth with a stranger. If you say no and they keep pushing, go immediately to get some help and remove yourself from that situation. That's it. You don't have to go back and forth with them. Don't even think about it. I don't care if you're tall, short, whatever. Don't go back and forth with them. That's it. You know what I mean? But my question is every time you go out, this is a problem. Everywhere you go, somebody's approaching you who you don't want to be bothered. Do you not just want to be bothered at all? Or is it just every person that approaches you don't want to be bothered, whether they approach you in a nice way or not? You know what I'm saying? So that once again, that would lean towards what they're saying. Women just don't want to be approached, period. Because the guys that are approaching you don't see them as some equal playing field, and you just don't want to be bothered with them because they don't look like your type. You get what I'm saying? Let's continue.
You guys know this. How many women be like, yeah, I'm not available, I have a boyfriend. Your boyfriend won't let you have friends? You can't just talk? I've had people try to follow me home to my house, walk so close to me behind me, they stepping on the back of my shoes. You know what I'm saying? So like being sweet doesn't always work. Okay. Sometimes you gotta be like, get out of my face. I'm going to spaz out and like talk to them because there's no other way for sometimes, and they rather be be cautious. No, it's be more careful than something else. What's the saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Like proactive?
It's like being more careful than, I forgot the saying. It's
better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry. Yes. I was using similar vocabulary, but I just couldn't get it. Better safe than sorry. A lot of women feel like that. That's why they had the whole thing with the bear.
That's
why the whole thing with the bear.
Like just like how we go to, we sympathize with the women. So in those examples, like you said in the club, maybe he was that guy that was nice to the friends, and maybe he got cursed out or whatever the case is, or maybe he couldn't get the girl that he wanted because he was nice to everybody. And now we don't think about men.
Wait, he didn't get the girl that he wanted because he was nice to everyone?
That could be a thing, yes.
What
like,
kind
women
be like, oh, you in everybody's face.
You in everybody's face.
Oh.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Now they can't.
Now you want my number? You in everybody's face.
So he just like, this is what I'm going after. Or maybe he did buy women those, maybe before he brought women all those slices, and then they just took his money out of here. I'm asking, like, men have experiences with women. I don't think.
But that's the consequences of risk.
Yeah. Again,
but like
why is it the consequences of risk? We don't sympathize with men.
Yeah, and he has a valid point. Women do not sympathize with what men go through, but they always want men to understand them and what they go through. So just like she just mentioned how, you have to be aggressive sometimes to a man that's constantly messing with you when you already said you don't want to be bothered. So men can understand that. Now he's out of line. He need to back the hell up. You know what I mean? I'm like, you need to get security, and remove him. We understand that there are some belligerent men out there who don't know how to accept no. But when men say women are doing X, Y, Z towards them, then there's no sympathy for a man. Oh, this is just what you got to go through. Well, maybe part of what you're dealing with is what you got to go through too if you out here on the dating scene. That every man is not going to be respectable. Every man is not going to be what you expect them to be. So every woman is not going to be respectable in everything that she should be. But they don't get it. Men, it's like y'all expect men to go through the hardships and put themselves in positions to be disrespected and all of this, but y'all don't want to be in that position. As a woman, women should not have to go through anything, but men supposed to go through it all. No, and when men are saying, no, we're tired of this too. This is why we're not approaching. This is why we're preserving ourselves. We're moving on. We're not doing this. Well, why won't y'all do this? Y'all don't want to go through. No, y'all don't want to go through anything either. Just because you're a woman don't mean that you're not going to encounter, foolishness, that you're not going to encounter disrespectful men. Disrespectful men exist, just like disrespectful mad women exist too. And they treat men horribly, just like these men may treat you horribly. So if you can understand the stuff that you go through and you want everybody else to understand it too, why can't you understand the plight of a man? That all these women are not just perfect individuals, that a lot of these women are messed up too. And they talk to men crazy too. And they disrespect men too. Y'all gotta understand men go through too. And a lot of times they don't. Let's continue.
I think it's unfortunate. I said I agree.
Not doing that, why aren't we ever looking at the man's history? Damn, why isn't he being this or that? Right. We don't do that. But with women, we automatically go, damn, why do you think she hates all women? Like, we don't never look at the incels and say, damn, what was your experience like with women?
All right.
We don't say that. We just say they incels and they losers and whatever the case is. We don't have that same sympathy.
There's a lot of women that wonder that. There's a lot of women that wonder that.
They don't ask.
I wonder that. I know friends that ask those questions and wonder that. I have a community of women that wonder that. I will be like, he seems really upset and frustrated with his relationships with women. I wonder why. If you're not asking why for anything, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, it's for me, it's taking me aback. I know that it's a reality for people, but I can't personally resonate with that.
Yeah. I always say, like, you never know people's interactions with the opposite sex because you're not there. Like your homegirl,
you're not that. Yeah.
Your homegirls can always portray like they're the perfect girlfriend in a relationship, or they never did anything wrong. You don't know what she's like in a romantic relationship.
And that's why you ask them why.
So it's like, my women, my homegirl, I don't know why they single. Y'all never seen them in a romantic setting. Like we all are different. Yeah. Like I'm different with my friends than I am with my mom than I am with my girl. I have different relationships with everybody. So you don't know that type of person or what they're going through. So
Yeah, listen, I totally resonate and understand where he's coming from. And I think this is where a lot of men get frustrated with women because women don't seem to have any empathy for what men go through, nor do they understand it, of course, because they're not men. But they're really not asking the questions because it's really not their concern. The concern is all about them. This is why I say women are self-absorbed and only concerned about themselves. They don't consider men in a lot of cases of what men have to go. They don't care. They just want the outcomes that they want, and they don't care how you come to that conclusion. They don't care about incels. They don't care about men who can't get women. They don't care about how men have been treated by other women. They just want a man to treat them right and give them the world, and that's all that matters. And so I think that is I think that's part of what's causing the divide when it comes to men and women building relationships, because women are selfish. They don't care about your feelings and what you had to go through, but they want you to be very concerned and tuned into what they had to go through. And they want you to be very understanding and emotionally intelligent when it comes to them, but they can't give you the same. And so I think that's something that women can learn from. I think women should be more open to what men go through and be more concerned about men's feelings and the things that they've experienced so that you can relate to them better and understand them better just as much as you want them to understand you. You see what I'm saying? But listen, I thought that was a great conversation. You know, definitely chime in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, hype up the video, you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.